Welcome. We're here today with Anil Valsan from EY. Anil, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
EY has just completed a study on the subject of shared mobility. What does that mean?
So the whole concept of shared mobility encompasses everything from the different forms of car sharing and other forms of mobility sharing as well. Until a few years back, what we saw was really the concept of shared vehicles, shared cars, and shared bikes. But today, all of these models are now overlapping, and we see a lot of business models where people are able to move across different modes of transport much more seamlessly.
I assume that these kinds of options are best applied in cities, not out in the country.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today the big questions that companies are asking is, how do we customize vehicles for the purpose of different cities? How can we start making money from these business models? What really drives profit? And also the other key question is, how can we create a scalable model that we can take across multiple cities?
Now, does the study point to a single solution that works everywhere, or maybe not?
No, there clearly isn't a single solution that works for multiple cities. I think what we focus on is a methodology that companies can adopt to try and create a successful business model that can be replicated. What we propose is a multi-step approach. So the first step being, how do you identify the right cities, followed by identifying the right elements of the business model, and last but not the least is the financial due diligence. How do you identify the profit drivers and then maximize on those drivers?
Now, there are a number of these options out there at work now.
That's right.
Some of these models apparently work, or is it too soon to tell?
Well, some of these models are already working. We've seen success of a variety of models from where you have driver-based car sharing. We've also seen the peer-to-peer sharing models, and what we now see is a lot of targeted effort around the corporate car sharing model. And what's interesting is it's not just being targeted on the developed markets that in Western Europe or North America, but we've seen a lot of these models being introduced in emerging markets like India, China, and so on. And a lot of the manufacturers in these markets are also getting worried. So very clearly, these models are having an impact on customers' willingness and interest in buying vehicles and preference for shared mobility.
So the options here could apply in a lot of different sorts of markets. It's not a narrow potential.
Exactly. I think initially when these models were being explored, they were being positioned as solutions for megacities. But what we've seen is, and Germany is a great example where you see these being introduced in a lot of smaller cities, and they are working. And it's not just about sharing cars, but making sure that people are able to use, for example, single payment and single tickets for multiple modes of transport, and get access to car sharing as well as part of this equation. So yes, it works.
Fascinating insights. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bill.